All right. Hmm. Oh wow. Wow, wow, wow. Looking to see if we can get a break to the upside here. Possible continuation higher. Hmm. Let's see. I'd love to get a nice break here. And then make an attempt for the highs. Resting up around 18,240, 242, 243, somewhere right there. Looks like we might be stalling out. Not sure if we have enough to break the upside yet. Thought we did. Might need yet another retracement. But we had it with the 3-2 up on the 5 minute. I mean the 2-1-2 up on the 5 minute. That's normally a good bullish indication. But didn't have enough to break and run. Man. For sure we were going to get a pop to the upside there, honestly. Yes, we still could right here. I was expecting a breakout. We had that little bit of a trend line forming on the 5 minute, with the exception of that wick above, and then we also had the 2-1-2 potential breakout to the upside on the 5 minute as well. We do have what looks like, we're going to have a 1 bar on the 15 minute, which is an inside bar. So I'd like to see this next bar go up and break the highs to actually give us a play out of a 2-1-2 on the 15 minute, and then break the tops on the 5 and run for new highs. That's what I would personally love to see here, but it looks like I don't know if we're filling these gaps before possibly going higher. I'm not sure what this is, honestly. I thought for sure we had what we needed to break the highs, but it's definitely not looking like it here. Unless we get the reversal now. Like I said, I thought we were going to be good for the 2-1-2 breakout to the upside, and the fact that we now have an inside bar on the 15 minute, what I'd like to see is a break to the top side of this formation, and then a run for new highs. That would give us a play out of a 2-1-2 to the upside on the 15 minute. I'd really love to see that here, and it would be a 2-2 reversal on the 1 minute. Anybody who is familiar with this strat. We did fill all of the inefficiencies in this last bullish leg of price action. I mean, technically we are in line for a potential break to the upside here, which would be the play out of the 2-1-2 on the 15 minute, which is what I'm waiting for, or hoping for, I should say. I want this to break and run and make an attempt for that 18,240 area, personally, is what I'd be looking at here. But this needs to just break and run. I don't want to see this stall out at the top up here. Nothing burns me up more than when we try to make an attempt at an area like this and then we just start stalling out. Like we did a minute ago when I already feel like we needed to break. And of course, now we're going to start stalling out. We need to just snap it and run. Here we go. Break it. Just break it. It really is exhausting when price decides not to break out like this, especially when we have the setup. Everything is aligned perfectly. If you take a look at the 15-minute right there, you can see that we're about to break out to the upside of the previous candle. That's a 212 to the upside, which is a really strong strat indication when you get it on the 15-minute like that. So we did break the high, so technically it is in force. But we need to get some follow through here to the up. This is not, wow, okay, here we go. Why can't you just break it and run? Break it and run. Whoa, what's up, Tupac? Really want to see this break to the upside and run off of this 212 on the 15-minute. Been a while, buddy. You been all right? Really waiting for this to break to the upside off of this 212, but of course, we're stalling out up here again. Not really sure why. We're already in a nice strong bullish leg here. We have the news pop, which propelled us higher. I think we're at least good to clear these recent highs on the hourly to our left, which is around the a little over 18,200. I just want to see this get a clean break is what I'm waiting on. A clean break to the upside and then a pump. I'd love to see buyers just flood into this move. You guys give me 1 minute. I got to get my charger for my mouse. Hold on. Wow. I walk away and it pops without me. Sounds about right. That's just NQ's speed. Wait for me to walk out the room and then make the move. It looks like we are holding the structure. We just tested this break of structure gap, and it looks like we might be good for another run of highs. I'd really like to see this make an attempt for the highs resting above 18,240 on the hourly. That's what I'd love to see. we could get some volume to flood into this, we could get a continuation higher. Good luck to you, buddy. Still doing that gold? Gold prints. Man, I'm gonna have to I need to get with you and go through some charts one day whenever you're available. I'd love to pick your brain on some of this gold stuff. I know we talked about it, but I'd like to jump on the charts with you one day and maybe run through some price action if you don't mind. Check the CSFL section. Okay, I'll take a look, buddy. But that is awesome, dude. I'm so excited for you. Well, you just let me know what your schedule allows and when you have time, and we'll make something happen. No, thank you, buddy. I didn't do anything. You too, bud. So we're making an attempt. It looks like for potentially for this area above us that we rejected off of yesterday when we took that short. That ultimately, I know we pulled 30 points off of that trade, but it honestly ran for a whole lot more than just 20 points. Curious to see how we're going to react if we can get back up into that area. Definitely do stand a chance if we break the highs of that to make a run for, I don't remember what exactly we have on the 4 hour. But we do have a chance of, if we do not reject again off of that area, making an attempt for new highs, which would be up around the 18,266 area. 266.50, 25, 266.25. And the strength that we have right now in the hourly is, I mean, even looking at the 5 minute, we didn't even need to dip down into this, what I would consider to be a breaker structure gap, a small breaker structure gap on the 15 minute or the 5 minute. We were able to hold above, and the 1 minute, we were able to hold above without retracing. So I think we're good for a retracement down into that area, maybe for market open, for then a possible continuation to the upside. We're going to see which direction we grab liquidity first. If we get a drop down into that area, we're going to look to potentially take a long to go higher. We're going to see though. Let me get this situated so I have everything set. Ooh. Mm. Mm. You do 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 do. Mhm. All right, let's see. Well, price did reach above this hourly liquidity here from market close yesterday, or right before market close yesterday. So we could potentially see a sell-off here down to the retracement level um, of this leg of price action right here. But we are going to see. Let me draw a. See if I can get a fib on this level. Let's take a look right here. So we've already respected this, push higher. So the next significant level that I see would be from here, possibly all the way up to here. How does this one play out? Ooh, I like this one for the breaker structure level, but this one is definitely, this is the whole leg of price action, which would align with all three gaps getting touched. I just feel like this is going to be the stronger level. Let's see. This whole leg of price action here. We're going to be a little bit more conservative. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to be more conservative. So our entry is going to be inside of this golden zone for a potential long. That's what we're going to look to get off of this. And this is our breaker structure level, which is sitting right here. Oh, crap. This is going to be our breaker structure level. 15-minute. I know I say that, but this one's looking really good too. But it's technically above. It's technically above. So I'm trying to see if we should use this level or possibly the level that's sitting up here. The breaker structure, breaker structure, breaker structure, breaker structure. You see it's a breaker structure on the 15, the 5, and the 1. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with this level. This is going to be our potential long setup, 18,164.50. I'm going to go ahead and put a buy order on here. See if we can get some movement out of this. We do have a little over 13 minutes until market opens still, so nothing yet. Just waiting to see what's going to happen here. We did trade above the liquidity at market close yesterday, or right before market close, I should say. So we do have the potential to get a move to the downside from here. To make an attempt to fill this area lower down where we are, where I have my limit order set. We're just going to wait and see how this plays out. But I do feel good about the market moving its way lower to ultimately fill this limit order, and either I would hope we'd see a bounce to the upside off of there, but I mean, we're going to have to see how this plays out between now and market open. But we do stand a good chance of retracing into this area for sure. Really like to see some swift movement to the downside. Now that we've reached above this liquidity twice, or not twice, but we've been trading up here for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 14 minutes, something like that. I'd really like to see us get a strong reaction to the downside, maybe break some structure and give us a gap that we could use as a potential target to come back up towards. I'd like to see some nice swift, there we go, nice swift price delivery to the downside, push it down relatively hard, showing that we did definitely get into a nice big pool of sellers up here to indicate that we could be making a nice clean run to the downside. That's what I'd really like to see. I don't like the fact that we keep wicking below these 1 minutes and can't hold. I want to see a nice clean displacement to the downside here. Here we go. We need some follow through though. I don't want this getting bought back up. Don't, and of course it keeps getting bought right back up, back into the previous candle. I don't know why we can't just get some nice strong follow through to the downside. Mm-hmm. Oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Why is I'm trying to take a look at gold here, but nothing's loading at the moment. Here we go. Indicator. All right, what do we have? Just waiting here for this to either give us a push down to this possible limit order or continuation to the upside. Let's see what's going on here. 3%. I'm gonna have to cancel the order only because I'm not gonna be able to manage it while my mouse isn't working. So we are going to, I'm gonna manage it in, not in, but verbally. But our order is sitting at 18,164.50. Right here I can actually give it a 18,164.50. Are we getting a breakdown now? Let's see what we get. No, not yet. We do have about 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes till open. This is looking like it wants to possibly get a run to the downside. If it does, this could potentially be our area right here that we're going to look to take a trade off of. Down in this golden zone below us at this 18,164.50 level. I'd really like to see a push down to this area and then a possible continuation to the upside. I'm going to manage this though I'm trying to manage everything from my phone because I am at the computer, but my mouse is recharging right now. I didn't realize it was on the verge of dying. So I really would like to see a breakdown from this area here at market open. Down to this limit order. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
What's the word? I waiting to see if we're going to get a breakdown to this breaker structure gap below us for a possible move to the upside at open. And we do have about 3 minutes and some change until then. So I really would like to see a breakdown from this level. I'd like to see a relatively swift one and break all this consolidation to our left. Make a run for the lows of this consolidation. This is our last untouched gap to the bullish gap in this consolidation period. This consolidation and this last bullish push to the leg to the upside that we had before when we broke the highs. So this is kind of going to be the area that we have to break down through in order to make an attempt to fill that limit order down there. I am liking that push through. That's what I was waiting for. We just need to get some strong follow through now, which is always our biggest thing. Really like to see this gap get left behind here. Would give us a strong chance of coming back to this area if we do run down and hit the limit order below us. We do have a minute 45 till open, just so everybody's aware. Um, Again, I would like to see price break down out of this consolidation area to the left of us, and make an attempt for this massive break of structure fair value gap. It lines up across the 1, the 5, and the 15. And actually, it still hasn't been closed on the hourly. So um, the gap is open on the hourly as well. It hasn't been permanently formed yet because the third candle that ultimately determines where the gap does or does not get left behind has not closed yet. We still have a little over 30 minutes, about 31 minutes left on that candle on the hourly, but the gap is there on all the other time frames as of now. So I think the only one, yeah, I think it's open on every time frame except for the hourly right now. Everyone below the hourly, I should say. So I would like to see price break down here and make an attempt into that fair value gap, that massive fair value gap resting below us. I really was expecting a harder drop than this. I don't like the fact that we're getting what looks like a little bit of some bounce action right here. I wanted to just see this knife down. Market does open in 15 seconds. Everybody please be aware of that. 10 seconds. So like I said, I'm hoping that we get a push down to this fair value gap, and then we're going to anticipate a pop to the upside. But we're going to see what happens here. Ooh, Ninja Trader is lagging. Is anyone else's Ninja Trader lagging? Oh wow, I'm having some serious lag here. What is going on?
I'm not on Ninja Trader anymore. Okay. Well, not for now.
I'm having some insane delays here. My stuff's not loading. This is bad. Yeah, I'm way behind with the man, this is upsetting that it's doing this right now.
Anyone else on Ninja Trader having an issue?
Yeah, well, maybe it's just me then. No surprise there.
I'm not on Ninja Trader. I mean, I'm just watching from my phone. That's usually what I would be using, so I have no idea.
Let's see. That looks like a liquidity grab. We need to break down right here, obviously, and make a run for that limit order. Yeah, like my Ninja Trader is currently trading at 18,203 right now. It still hasn't even shown the drop on the 1 minute yet. It's still on that first green candle before the drop. So I'm definitely way behind.
Yeah, maybe just close Ninja Trader and reopen it.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. I'm really hoping that we get a breakdown out of here, guys. It's like, as much as I like to say I don't think it's going to leave this gap behind, I mean, we know that it definitely can. I feel like with a gap this size, with it also being a break of structure gap on the 1, the 5, the 15, and the 30 minute, it'd be a little bit unlike price to make an attempt for new highs without at least touching the gap on one of the time frames. Maybe not filling it on all of them, but at least touching it. That's what I'd like to see happen. Okay, that was really, really weird with whatever just happened. So I was I was actually in a trade, which is why I was waiting, Keith. Um, Wait, where did my order go on TradingView?
Yeah, it just disappeared, dude.
What is going on with my computer right now?
I wasn't watching your screen, but yeah, it's not on TradingView anymore.
No, I'm not even. What is going? I'm on Wi-Fi, but hold on. I don't. Now I'm a little bit thrown right now. Why is my order going? Well, our fill is going to be at 18,164.50. What is going on right now? This is my stuff's just freaking out on me. Come on, don't do this. Oh, 18,154.50. Yeah, we're gonna go with typical 30. So we did reach into the gap on the 1, the 5, and the 15. Man, we actually don't have a target to the upside right now. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this order, guys. I'm going to cancel the order only because we did feel the change of character to the upside. I'm looking on the hourly right now, and we have actually fulfilled everything so far. Man, I don't know. This is really looking good for a long, though. Yeah, I've never had any. I feel like if it was my Wi-Fi, I feel like I wouldn't have a good connection to you guys on the stream right here, but I feel like I do. I don't know. All right, we just hit the 18,140 164.50. Look at this. This is why I wanted to take it off. I was worried that we might get some acceleration when we reached it. I gotta restart my whole NinjaTrader. Hold on, guys. This is ridiculous. Oh, and we're getting a bounce there. That's a nice, good bounce. See if we can get some follow through.
Submitted.
Nobody's order submitted. Trying to get my stuff to load up here. All right, let's see if I can get this connection to work now. We also have this untouched gap directly below where we just traded into. It aligns with both the 1 minute and the 5 minute. On the 1 minute, it's actually identified as a break of structure gap. So there's a chance that price is going to reach down into that. And that's about 14 points below, a little less than 14, about 10 to 12 points below us. But we are getting a good strong reaction right here. We haven't gotten anything to officially confirm we're going higher, but we did get a nice strong reaction. And this looks like a potential push to the upside. Let's see. All right. My internet is on. I mean, my connection at NinjaTrader is good now. Everything's up to speed. I'm no longer in the dark. Yeah, this is, I mean, technically we still haven't traded below this level yet, but I was really expecting a stronger response than what we're getting right now. Lord, yeah, there you go. I took the limit order off because looking above us, I don't see any, we've already fulfilled the bearish change of character retracement. We don't have any other significant displacements that I can see right now. So it's like, personally, I feel we could be making a run for the continuation of the prices. Potentially, if you look at the 15-minute, to the left of us, we have this breaker structure on the 15-minute, and the leg of price action down here at 18,140.75 would be a potential area for price to reach, even if it is going higher, in order to grab liquidity for a move to the upside. But if we get down to that, it's very possible that price just gives us a massive sell-off for a continuation down to the PM lows once we do hit that level. I don't feel super confident in a bounce anymore. I feel like now we are going to start making some attempts at the liquidity resting below this 18,140.75 area, and then potentially continue lower from there down to PM lows. Curious to see how this is going to play out here. We did just fill the last untouched gap on both the 1 minute and the 5 minute on this bullish leg of price action, but I still feel like we have a strong possibility of hitting this 18,140.75 area, and then if we reach that, I feel like we could get a massive sell-off from there and continuation down to the PM lows, and then possibly even lower to potentially yesterday's pre-market lows. I know that's a stretch, but I don't see anything stopping us between here and there, honestly. So this could be a 100-point sell-off right here if we can get some follow-through. We filled every retracement that I can see as far as breaker structure change of character goes. Above us, we filled every single one. The short I put out yesterday, the last play I put out yesterday that we grabbed 30 points off of, was the retracement into the hourly breaker structure from 2 days ago. That was the play I had put out as a possible play from the other day. So that's been fulfilled now. Hold on, I'm trying to get my mouse to work, guys, so I can update this chart for you. One thing I do not like about my Apple products is the fact that I can't stick batteries in this mouse. I have to actually charge it. Yeah, here we go. We're dumping now. So we obviously cleared the 18,140 area, and I told you if we hit it, there was a good chance we got a strong continuation, and this looks like we're here. We're about to make an attempt for the PM lows. I don't think we're stopping there, personally. I think we're going to flush the PM lows and then make an attempt for possibly yesterday's pre-market lows. Because yesterday when we made that bounce, I was anticipating us coming lower than we did, if anybody remembers. So I'd love to see this make an attempt for first our overnight lows from last night, and then ultimately the lows resting at yesterday's pre-market session, where I genuinely don't think we went low enough. What's up, Necro? So,
What's going on? Good morning.
Morning, buddy. So yeah, I definitely think we stand a really good chance at this point. So the only thing that I do see that we're going to have to make an attempt at is the fulfillment of this change of character gap at some point. I'm trying to look to the left to see. Yeah, so the two areas I have marked up from yesterday morning's pre-market drop was the 18,067.25 and the 18,042.75. I was honestly a little bit surprised that we didn't hit them yesterday. In that pre-market sell-off, we ended up popping and going all the way to that area I put out on Tuesday afternoon session? Yeah, Tuesday evening session, if I'm remembering correctly. I put out a potential play for yesterday, and it ended up making its way all the way up there, and we pulled 30 points out, but the trade ultimately ran, and I don't think it's returned back to that area since then. So I definitely think we're good for the overnight lows from last night, and then what I'd like to see is us make a strong effort to get down to those two levels I was just talking about, the 18,067 and the 18,042, which were the levels directly below our pre-market sell-off yesterday morning that we didn't reach, that I was expecting us to reach. So I'm just waiting for the flush here. I think we're good for it. But we do have to keep in mind that we do have this massive change of character gap that we just created on the 5-minute. Not saying that price is going to worry about that right now, especially if it's seeking liquidity. It can just sell off and it can come back to this at a later date. It's been a while since we've had a good strong sell off here on NQ. I know yesterday, over the course of that 1 hour, once we reached the level that I had set as a potential trade idea, we did over the course of that entire hour finally work our way down, but it wasn't as strong of a sell off as this right here. It's been a while since we had a nice, strong sell off like we're getting here. But I would like to see personally us get a hot knife down through this area and make an attempt for the PM lows, the overnight lows here from last night. We're trying. It looks like we're struggling a little bit, but we're definitely making an attempt to create a breaker structure here on the 15-minute. This would be the level we'd have to knife down through in order to give it to us. We still have another almost 13 minutes left on that candle, on this 15-minute candle. So we're going to see how this plays out, if we're going to get a retrace up from here, or if we're just going to get a strong continuation to the downside. Personally, I'd love to see just a nice, strong flush to the downside and make a run for these lows, like I said, from the pre-market session. But price is definitely getting some resistance right here, or some support right here. But I feel like if they can pull the rug, this should just give us a nice clean, another 20, 25 points to at least grab the liquidity resting into the overnight session. If it would just break. Definitely at a spot where it could just knife. Ooh, why do I feel like it it just wants to go down so bad. So bad. Mm-hmm. Ooh, was that an exhaustion move? I don't know if anybody caught that. It looks like it was. Break now. Now that you did that, I want you to just break. Jump out of the plane with no parachute. Just fall. So we definitely did get a confirmed change of character on the 5 minute. It looks like this is going to be a confirmed change of character. Break of structure on the 15 minute as well. Looks like we're about to make that attempt for PM lows. Let's see. Like I said, I'd love to see this just obliterate these lows here. As far as gaps go, I don't see anything as far as untouched gaps. We have already, this gap on the 1 minute that we're testing right now, we've already actually tested it. I mean, obviously, it doesn't mean that it can't, it doesn't mean that it can't go down and bounce on it again, but as far as untouched gaps go, we don't have anything between us and the PM lows that I see. Holy shit, this is a bounce. Hell of a bounce. We did reach up into this change of character gap on the 5 minute. So this could potentially indicate that we are going to go lower from here. Just going to wait to see what kind of response we get off of this. So we did just touch the 5 minute change of character level here. I don't think that's going to be enough to fulfill a retracement, honestly. I feel like we're going to have to make an attempt higher up. So it looks like we're making, we have a little bit of what looks like some bullish consolidation here on the 1 minute. I feel like we might be good for a push to this next fair value gap on the 1 minute up in the 18,160, 18,164 area. We haven't actually had, we wicked above, after dipping down the 15 minute for that break of structure, we actually have pulled all the way back up. Curious to see if we're going to retrace all the way up into this next 1 minute gap, because that's the last untouched gap here on this bearish leg. We might need to fill that before continuing to the downside. It would also meet the needs of the retracement on this 5 minute change of character by doing that. It would close the entire first gap and it would dip into the gap directly above us. So that would be a really, really good fulfillment of the of this change of character retracement, which we know price does almost every single time. Maybe not right away, but we know that it's coming in the near future. I say near future, we have to look at that in the right context. So if we're talking about the 1 minute, that could be a couple minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But if we're talking about like a 5 or a 15 minute chart, sometimes that could be, a couple of hours later or even the next day, especially with a super, super strong break of structure, a change of character like we just got here. I mean, that was a pretty massive, in the context of the price action, that was a really strong sell-off there. I mean, we essentially cleared right at 100 points from top to bottom on that move. So, what does it mean when a bearish bullish figure overlaps on a 15 minute? So I'm really not the right person to ask. I don't get too deep into the ICT concepts. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of people call it an inverted fair value gap, which is, by what I've always heard, a strong area that market is going to want to revisit. I don't necessarily trade based off of that. I do look at them. If we cross over a fair value gap with a nice strong leg of price action, like we just sliced through these two gaps on the 5 minute, the two bullish gaps. I mean, I just see that as a shit ton of volume and prices on a crash course to find liquidity somewhere. And I feel like it's just a matter of trying to figure out where that area is. So let me see. Let me take a look at the 5 minute. Let me take a look at the 15 minute. Yeah, so I mean, looking at the 15 minute and the 5 minute, the only thing that really, really, really grabs my attention is, like I said earlier, directly to the left of us. Let me see if my mouse is going to cooperate with me. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we see this a lot. So when price, right here, we created this bullish break of structure right here. Price pushed all the way up to here. So it fulfilled, hold on. We had the break of structure here, this bullish break of structure, price retraced on it, filled it. So price is now going to want to try to clear the liquidity up here, or at least clear the liquidity above whatever the most recent high is from here, which price came up to here, sold off. So there's a chance that price is going to try to get back above whatever major liquidity we have. Apparently there was enough up here. When we did that, we created another break of structure, a bullish break of structure. Price pushed all the way up. So there's a chance that this being the leg that price broke the structure on, this is the bottom of the leg. If price doesn't find enough liquidity under the breakout candle, which is here, which is that I said that we had a chance of breaking that 18,140 and then dumping off of that. And then you can see that we ultimately made it below this leg right here, which is the leg that ultimately came up, broke the structure, but pulled back because it didn't have enough to stay above it. So we always know that there's a ton of liquidity resting below this low. And it kind of is looking like price swept that two really good times. Well, really just one time. But then we got a strong reaction off of that area. We have, if you look at this same area, I'm actually going to draw it. If you look at this low on the 1 minute, once we got below it, we created a strong displacement back across it to the upside and left this strong gap. So this is going to be, in my opinion, the determining gap right here. If price makes it back down, if we can get a bounce off of this, we could potentially be looking for runs higher. But I feel like we're up in that 1 minute gap that I was talking about earlier that I felt like price had a really good chance of getting up into, even if we are going to be continuing lower. But at some point here, I'd like to see price fill this and then make a retracement effort down into this leg, regardless whether it's going higher or whether it's breaking down to come for the PM lows. So we're going to see how this plays out. We did just fill the 1 minute breaker structure. It's plotted blue as a breaker structure gap. I mean, I feel like it's not the strongest breaker structure gap on the 1 minute.
That's fine.
But you know, whatever. It's the way the parameters of the indicator has set to determine whether or not something is a breaker structure are a little bit different than mine. But it does have some significance whenever the indicator does plot it as a breaker structure level. So we can still expect some kind of response off of it. But as we already know, this was the change of character, the actual change of character candle on the 5 minute. We pushed through it. We have this one, and then we have this untouched sliver up here. We're already trading inside of the 15 minute, fair value gap that we had left up here. I'm really, really, really curious to see how we respond here. Let me go take a look at this 1 minute gap that we pushed off of. Yeah, that's a good gap too. We had not, no, we had fulfilled the retracement of the 1 minute breaker structure right there. Could be wrong, but I feel like this price action, this delivery is just way too clean for us not to make a run back down through. See where price is heading next. Do we have anything left on the 1 minute? Let me see. No, I don't see anything left on the 1 minute. We do have this 5 minute sliver right here, which is, I don't see it as anything significant other than it would be the fulfillment of the entire 15 minute and the 5 minute. Man, this is really, really strong right now. I mean, even without looking at the 5 minute, is just ridiculous how strong this move is. But then even the 1 minute is indicating that we're having virtually no retracement. This is the only candle that actually broke the prior candle's low in this entire run. Yeah, this is the only candle that actually broke down beneath the prior candle. This is some insanity right here. We just touched the 5 minute, the last 5 minute, well, technically the last untouched fair value gap at all in this bearish leg of price action. It doesn't look like this is finished yet. Take a look at the 4 hour real quick. Let's see. So we are currently sitting in a 4 hour change of character gap. Our change of character level, we've actually already tested it. It looks like twice, and we are currently pushing higher. Let's see where this could be trying to reach. Yeah, above us, I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything above us on the 4 hour, honestly. I mean, the 4 hour is a really hard chart to look at intraday, especially because we can have a monumental day and the 4 hour doesn't have much of a change. So let's see here. Take a look at the 2 hour. If there's anything different. Yeah, on the 2 hour, we fulfilled the entire change of character. The 4 hour, we haven't quite filled. Oh yeah, we did fill the entire thing on the 4 hour as well. I definitely think we're prime. We're more than prime for a sell-off here. It's just to see what it's going to take for that to be triggered. But I do personally think we are way overdue for a sell-off. And I think that once it starts, it should be just a monumental move. The kind of thing that is going to give us 200 points. Honestly, it's just going to be to figure out what that's going to take. I don't see anything, honestly, that we haven't fulfilled yet. This could be the start of the sell-off right here because I don't see anything else above us that price would need to dig into, honestly. And I'm not saying there isn't anything. I'm just saying I don't see anything. I definitely could be overlooking something. But I'd personally just love to see a nice, clean 100 to 200 point sell-off at this point. Now that I feel like we've fulfilled absolutely everything that we can. Love to just see this give us a hot knife all the way for PM lows and then yesterday's lows.
I was being very patient. Took a nice little short right there.
Say that again, buddy?
I said I was being patient this morning. Took a nice little short right there.
Yeah. I caught a bit of the initial sell-off, but I got out I felt like I was getting out early, but obviously I'm glad I did because we had this massive retracement. But
Yeah, it's definitely a little wacky last couple days.
oh yeah,
Then again, isn't that every day in the market?
unfortunately, yeah, you're right. I'm feeling good about us going for an attempt for the lows, you guys. We got so close to them without reaching them. We fulfilled everything that I could possibly see to the upside. Again, that doesn't mean there's not something. I'm telling you guys, I don't see anything. So take that with a grain of salt because I'm trying to look right now while keeping an eye on what the current price is doing. So it is a possibility that I'm overlooking something, but I really don't see any major areas above unless price is going for something way higher up. I feel like we have filled everything we could possibly need to fill before giving us a massive move to the downside because we're long overdue for one, honestly. In my opinion, not that the market needs a massive sell-off, but I just feel like it's what it does. So we're gonna see. It looks like we might be trying to retrace into this bearish leg. I'd really like to see a continuation to the downside off of this. And then I'd like to see price just start free falling, personally.
Just be aware we have a perfect double top on ES, so it might pull up a little bit and then come back down.
I got you. I'm not even looking at ES, so I'm glad you are.
Yeah, we just broke it on ES, so let's see what happens now.
Oh. Nice liquidity grab potentially. So we did create a bullish gap there on the 1 minute, but hopefully it's just going to completely invalidate it. Gap straight across it, and then make a run for the lows here, and then ultimately strong continuation lower. And I just want this thing to just start landsliding towards these lows, just building up momentum the further it moves down. I want it to go after these lows like a heat-seeking missile. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. one by one, it's grabbing every inefficiency it sees. Very nice, very nice. It's a 2-2 reversal on the 15-minute and a this 2-2 reversal could easily yield us. I say easily. I don't like to say that. It definitely has the potential to yield us a run for the 18108 area, ultimately down to the 18104 area, and then we'd potentially be looking for yesterday's lows that we didn't reach, those levels that I called out earlier. I can actually get them right here. Why am I acting like I don't have them in front of me? Here we go. The 18067 and the 18042 are potential areas of interest for me. Honestly, the 18042 is what I'd like to see price reach. This is a little unexpected though, this bounce. We did just fill the last 5-minute gap, which coincidentally is on that change of character level. So the 5-minute change of character level, not the 1 minute. It looks like we just had a perfect retracement on the 50% leg of this, though. Oh no, we came up short actually. Came up a little short. Ooh. So we did get a 2-2 reversal in the 15-minute, but we got 0 follow through on it. I was expecting. So I'd almost like to see us tap this 50 level directly above us, this 18157.25, and then give us a continuation. Sorry. To the downside to ultimately break down and give us a follow through of this 2-2 reversal in the 15-minute to this 2-2 reversal to the downside on the 15-minute. It looks like we're trying to break down on the 1 minute, which would be a 2-2 reversal on the 1 minute, which could lead to the 2-2 continuation on the 5-minute, and then ultimately, hopefully, the 2-2 reversal on the 15-minute, all aiming to the downside, potentially. That's what I'd like to see. But we did not get the 50% retracement. Not saying that we have to get it, but I'm just saying we didn't get it. Like I felt like we were about to. Just waiting to see how price is going to react here. We're looking good for the breakdown. I feel like at any point here we should get a strong knife, but it's just a little bit unsettling that we didn't retrace to the area I thought we were going to retrace, but I mean, it doesn't have to do that, which we know. Especially when price is on a crash course like it looks like it is right now. It can kind of do what it wants. We did just tap the top of that 1 minute, and I mean barely tap the top of that 1 minute. I do feel good about a break, though. Break to the downside, and like I said earlier, a run for the overnight lows, and then possibly that 18,067, 18,042 below yesterday's pre-market drop.
News was at 8:30 this morning. I didn't see anything else today.
Yeah, no, I think the only other thing we had was the 30-year bond auction. That's at 12:01 Central, 101 Eastern, but I know I'm not going to be on it at that point. And then tomorrow, though, we do have consumer sentiment, and we have inflation expectations, which is orange folder.
But remember, when Mr. Wilson gets in, he moves the market himself, so you just got to watch him.
Ah, yeah, I wish. If that were the case, then we'd all just we'd bandwagon our way to retirement. Well, it looks like we did just get a retracement on this little breakout leg on the 1 minute. I'd like to see price hold. No, that's not what I was about to say. I don't want price to go back above this previous 1 minute candle. I want to see a strong continuation to the downside. Technically, we still are. It's an in-force play. This 2-2 down, this 2-2 reversal on the 15 minute, but we are having trouble holding below that low of the previous 15 minute candle. And it really is making me wonder if price is going to make an attempt to get up into this golden zone that we have drawn on the 1 minute. It would align with price digging into this untouched 5 minute gap, as well as what is considered a short-term breaker structure gap on the 1 minute here as well, which we already did go into once, but we didn't reach the breaker structure level itself, which I know whenever we do our back testing, we see price likes to come and touch these levels, the actual breaker structure level inside of the gap, very often. So I'm not saying price needs to do that, but I mean, if it needs more liquidity to continue lower, that could potentially be where it's going to try to find it. And then I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a quick wick up into this, because this is, again, the only gap above us that's not filled yet. What we got here? What is that, a volume imbalance?
So that's my indicators are saying it's looking like it's going to just kind of float around here for a little bit. The blue line is 20 SMA. The yellow and the orange are 13 and 21 EMA. So for simple terms, if the blue is above the other two, it's going down. If the blue is below the other two, it's going up. Okay. And then you can see the curls. I circled 3 spots where it actually happened. It's very, very common. Like it's a good hit. It's a good win rate when you just follow that.
Okay, I like that. Well, price just ran to that area almost to the tick, almost to the point, and it looks like we are getting a potential reaction off of that area. Let's see what happens here. I did say that we had a chance to wick up into that 1 minute. Ultimately, I'd like this to drop. I'd like to think that we're going to continue to the downside here, but now we're getting this pump. Hopefully this is just a liquidity grab, a push up into this gap for liquidity. I'd like to see it push down just as hard, if not harder, than it just pushed to the upside. But yeah, I like that, Necro.
I'll take a quick pick because I have it at my desk. So I'll take a quick pick. I keep it at my desk to remind myself.
Oh yeah, what's TT putting up? That's oh yeah, okay. Thinkorswim charts. Ooh, that's a good catch there. I didn't even catch that. I don't know. This breaker, is that looking at breaker blocks, or is that considered a breaker block? or an order block. Honestly, I'm a little bit I get the two mixed up. I don't trade super heavy on the
It's
little
neither.
above the two.
It's basically supply and demand off the tick charts. I'm down to the 133 tick and the 512.
Okay, cool. I
And then
appreciate it, buddy.
of course, you have orders that came in earlier at 152 trying to sell into that move up. So I'm basically watching to see how price will react here as we were back into 512 tick supply.
Oh wow, okay. I've never really taken the time to look at the tick charts, honestly.
I've gone a little, stir crazy. I've gone from like the 2000 tick to the 1000, from the 1000 to the 512, from the 512 to like the 133, and I've gone even further down to the 66 tick, and then the 33 and the 16. So like, that's how I'm catching those crazy sniper entries for a lot of my trades.
That's awesome. What were you about to say, Necro?
I was gonna say, look at this stranger. I haven't talked to this guy in like forever.
Yeah, took a break from trading, honestly. Just needed to study up, got classes and whatnot. Feels good to be back, though. How's
every now and then we all have to take a break.
Are you still working at the police station? Or are you retirement central?
I'm done. I'm just doing little by little every day.
Should I call you Mr. Pension Man then?
July 1st, I can retire. The numbers are good, but I'm up for a promotion. It's like a $20,000 a year raise. So I'm gonna stick it out a little longer.
You're gonna thug it out for a couple more years. There we go. Higher pension too.
Yeah. Once I hit the 20, the pension goes on steroids basically. So
yeah.
If I get this promotion and I do a year in rank, I'm looking at like $150,000 a year pension.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hell yeah. So just a quick update, guys. I'm really liking the response we're getting to this area. We're getting some strong selling wicks. Just going to try to, like I said, I want to see it sell off just as hard as it pumped up to reach this area, if not harder. I feel like price is just, it's steadily trying to find a little bit more liquidity to the upside. But I mean, we're going to, obviously that's not going to be confirmed until we can at least break some short-term structure. Right now we are making higher highs. We are making, higher lows. We are making lower highs though. So we're kind of in a bit of a pennant formation here. So we do need this to break, and I'm hoping the break is going to be to the downside.
Yeah, thank you. Be crazy to see your P&L screenshots, Mr. Wilson. Seeing those $100,000 days.
Yeah, well, that was when I was working on those. I was working on a set of 300K accounts. I had 20 of them, and I had a huge screw up. I was at so the 300Ks have a $20,000 profit target per account, and I was at 17.5 and made a huge mistake. Left an order open in the market. Walked away from my computer for about 30 minutes. Came sit down. I was down a little over 2,800 on every account. So naturally, I was furious. I said, I can make back 2,800 on 300Ks. That's not a huge feat because I mean, I was having
days personally.
Yeah, I mean, I was posting those $40,000 days. So I was like, I can make back 2,800. Well, then it turned into 5,600. I was down.
Yeah,
because I was just furious. Yeah, and then I honestly forgot that when you're trading with that amount of money, you forget that the 300Ks, they're not in your favor for the eval because you only have a $7,500 drawdown. Well, so I had my blinders on because I was upset a little over 17,000. And whenever I hit 10, it liquidated me. It failed all the evals, and I was just, it was ridiculous. I drove for a couple of days psychologically after that. Like it just blew me out of the water.
No, definitely. I've been there. We've all been there. I have a couple 300Ks, couple 150s, and majority are 50Ks. I do have my 20 PAs. So that's pretty much it for me. We came back to that 152 level, by the way, that I sent in terms of time and sales earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Just watching to see if we can hold here for a flip right back into ideally, 170 lows. You're not wrong about trend, but also note the fact that we held the overall lows from the London lows, right? You can see how we drove right back into that. You had a 1 minute fair value gap. I don't trade 1 minute fair value gaps. I don't trade ICT at all, but you did hold those lows and you had a flip in price. I longed 120 earlier. So I target the opening print right now. Like I said, I'm looking for a move back into the 170 lows here. So it kind of just goes back to what I sent earlier too, right? We saw price kind of flip in that purple box area. I'll send the chart again. I sent it again like this. The cyan colored box or parallel channels at the bottom right there was the 1 minute demand I had out earlier. Now we are back into 168 here, 168.75. I do want to see if we can drive a little higher back into like 172s, 173s, get a few more cons off the table. And I think I'll be done for the day, leave a few runners higher.
Yeah,
me,
that's interesting. How long have you been messing with tick charts?
Honestly, after I hopped off of Discord, I've been trading supply and demand, but it wasn't truly till I spent time on my own that I started looking at it in the context of, everything is fractal in nature, right? Whatever you see on a 5-minute chart, you can see on a hourly chart. Whatever you can see on a 5-minute chart, you can also see on the tick charts. Right. The only difference is when you have tick charts, you have a lot more data to decipher. Right. So you kind of have to take off the, the optimistic lens, the subjective lens of trading in your analysis, right? Because at the end of the day, there's two people within ourselves, right? There's the analyst and then there's the trader. Right. The analyst will say X, Y, and Z, and you'll give some kind of subjective, overview of like what price can do. But then the trader is the one that's going to take the objective from the subjective, or I guess take the subjective, turn into an objective, and take a trade from it. So I've gone down to the ticks. As you can see, that is a 512 tick chart right there. I got my move into the low 170s, and when I mentioned low 170s, we were down at 150 flat. So I longed 149. I'm currently still holding, majority position here. Just trying to get my reps in, basically, right? Today's one of those days where yes, you have fair value gaps above, you have fair value gaps below, but look at the overall trend of structure, right? You had your initial low, you had an impulse up right there. So if you're trying to short the impulse up on that move, it wouldn't have been the highest profit potential, right? On the leg low, right around like what, my 712 or your 1012, I think you're Eastern, right?
Yeah, I'm Central, but I'm used to trading in Eastern time.
There we go. So you have your 10-12 candlestick, right? And you can see how we failed to drive higher. So that tells me that the people who stepped in at that, at the high from that retracement, right, they're who stepped in to sell short, they defended their position on that move right there. And then you have an impulsive move down. And I won't even call it impulse. It's just there was a lack of buyers, right? And then, of course, you have 1 minute demand stepping in over there. And you flip in price. I'll just send you a quick chart here just to show you my TradingView chart. And we're still holding 174s here, which is beautiful. So this is what I had pretty much this morning. We had 3 minute, 1 minute supply resting up above here. Actually, I just send you a better chart here. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to visualize in terms of what I was looking for the most part for the day. So I had 3 minute, 1 minute mixed supply right there. Wanted to see price flip from there. Did I catch the initial short? I did not. Could not find anything that fit my risk to reward model. I am risking about 5 to 7 points per contract on NQ. So if I can find an R factor of at least 5 on the bare minimum rate, then I'm not going to take the trade. So the long 120 lows where I got in majority position at 120. Let it, trail higher, and I added at 147.25, and I trimmed into, 170. I trimmed into 180, and I got my full trim out at 180.85, I believe it was. I'd have to look back, but that was the R factor right there, right? If I can't find a trade that yields at least a 5R return, then I don't personally see the reason to take that trade. But of course, that is the way I trade, of course, right? It just ties back to my risk. if I can risk, let's say if I get stopped out for 5 points and my average R return trade, profitable trade is 5R, that means for every, I can lose 5 points, but if my profiting trade will yield 25 points, right? Like you see the math right there, right? Lose 5 versus lose 25, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. We are staggering over here at the low 170s here. Just watching the tape, nothing crazy. There are a lot of buyers trying to step in higher here. Just got a couple orders at 176s. Some sellers trying to step in at 77.75s here. From the looks of things, they may try to take out 180s at this point. Of course, if you're trying to buy over here, right, you're basically trying to buy, if you want to talk about discount and premium context, right, you're trying to buy into a premium here. So would this be the area for a high profitable, setup? Not really. Do you have that 1 minute fair value gap off that impulse right there, right? You can see that
right
around 10:30. That would be your ideal buy spot if you're trying to trade a fair value gap, so to speak.
Interesting. So, I'm not even going to act. I've never even looked into trading tick charts. It's not something I've ever been familiar with, but I know there are a lot of people that are doing well off of them. I don't even know honestly how tick charts work or how to apply them.
Tick charts are basically transactions in the market. So you know how there's volume right at the end of the day, and Q can have 400,000 volume, 500,000, a million in volume. A million would be quote unquote a very high volume day. But in the context of ticks, right? Let's say for every transaction that comes in, whether it be a single order, single lot, single contract, or it could be 2 contracts or 3 contracts or 20 contracts, each individual order, right? Let's say 1 being 20, 1 being 5, 1 being 2, right? They count as a tick, as a transaction. So it would take, let's say I have a 512 tick, candle. I would need 512 individual transactions. It can be anywhere, like I said earlier, right? It can be 1s, it can be 2s, it can be 3s. As long as there's 512 transactions, then that would conclude your 512 tick bar candle.
Okay.
A 133 tick would be 133 transactions. Of course, there are volume bars too, which would equate to how many, let's say if you have 5,000 volume bar, that would mean you need 5,000 contracts traded for that bar or that candlestick to close, so to speak.
Right. And that would obviously take a lot.
Yeah. And then now you have a new 1 minute fair value gap right there too. So now
is there like a standard tick chart that most people are intraday trading off of?
It depends. I have a friend of mine who trades off the 750 tick. I just stick to the 512 and the 133. I feel like it just comes from, you have to dive into it. It requires a lot of back testing. In the context of back testing, you'd have to have, you would need data, right? And what is your data? What is your MAE? What is your MFE, right? How many points on average does that trade go against you, from which you look into the trades that you already take. And then once you start realizing, okay, this works, this setup and this system works, and let me see if I can find a way to perfect my entries, right? So in the context of this trade over here, right, you saw that little area I had drawn out earlier, right? The blue box, and now we're just driving higher back into 200. So like me being in long off of 149s, I'm happy, right? So I'll send that to
obviously
here. It was that blue little box right there, and that was just what I was waiting for. Of course, this is an indicator that I made. It took some time to build, a lot of money, R&D and whatnot, but it basically concludes pretty much everything that I look for in terms of supply and demand.
Okay, so you actually built this indicator.
Yeah, I paid money.
Oh, wow.
I had to get it tweaked a lot. It was costly, but in the context of trying to identify every single area, like you can do it on the time frames, right? Like 1 minute, 2 minute, whatnot. But trying to do the tick charts, it does become a bit hectic. It has a little over 600-700 lines of code. So
oh wow, okay.
You can just imagine how intricate that is. But now we're pushing 207s, right? And then tying back to what I said earlier, right? The move off the lows, that was your initial impulse, so that would be your low to your high. And your pullback from that high, that retracement high back into the opening print, right back down to 1019, that would be your new higher low, so to speak.
Yeah, right.
So that would
I see what
be
you're
saying. That would be the overall trend, perspective. Like I do understand why you said that was your high, that was your low. This would be a lower high, a lower low, and that makes sense. But when you're trying to catch, these bigger astronomical moves, right? Look at what was the initial reaction. And of course, this could have moved against me. It could have hit a fair value gap and just flipped without a doubt, right? You did see signs of that happening initially, right into the 10-12 into the 10-14 fair value gap, right? But of course, also note the fact that, right, when we pulled back, what happened right there? We got a retracement back into the 50% of that move.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are just some statistics that you want to keep in mind as well. Right now, we just took out HOD, got some more contracts off the table. I have 2 cons left, and I will let them do their thing.
Yeah, that's nice. Damn. Yeah, I've never really, like I said, I don't know anything about tick charts. It's that's all completely uncharted territory for me.
I would say don't dive into them personally. If you're going to trade ICT, tick charts are not needed. It's probably just imagine what you're doing times imagine like Colombian coffee on steroids and everything in between.
Yeah. It sounds pretty interesting, though. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I like the sound of it. It seems honestly, I mean, it seems relatively straightforward. We with that playing out the way it did, guys. I'm honestly probably going to call it there. I did a lot of scalping today, more than I really like to do on a regular basis. But I ultimately was able to make it a decent day. We do have what looks like we have a almost perfect trend line here on the hourly. So there's a good chance that we get a break to the upside here. Just curious to see if we do, where this has the potential to run. I hadn't even noticed that we were creating this almost perfect trend line right here. So curious to see how this plays out. I will be back at the computer later this afternoon to check everything and see what played out. So I will be on tomorrow morning, depending on how my day goes. I may get on later this afternoon and do some charting. If so, I'll put an announcement in the page. But I'm not exactly sure whether or not I'm going to have time for that today. I have a whole lot of stuff I have to handle before tomorrow. So if I don't talk to you guys this afternoon, then I'll see you all first thing in the morning. So let me see. I think that's going to be it.
I'll stick around.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out. But I'll reach out to all you guys later, or if not, then it'll be in the morning. I'll see you all. So, peace, guys.
Whoa, do. If y'all want, I can stream as well.